How many people have been to South Africa? How many people want to go back? Yeah. I came back from South Africa. You come back on a trip and you say, you know what? I love that place. I can't wait to go there. I'm still looking at real estate. It's been a year and a half. It is one of the most incredible places on the planet. There's this unbelievable diversity of culture, this unbelievable diversity of food and people. There are 13 official languages. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. South Africa really got started when Jan van Riebeeck and the Dutch East India Trading Company set up shop in Cape Town. And it was really a stopover for their merchant ships on the way to the Far East. And throughout the years, it's changed again. But obviously, South Africa had humongous problems in the 1900s, both between the KWV, which was the big co-op, and the government with apartheid. Just absolutely horrendous things. But something that they've been able to do is they've actually been able to keep some of the sten. Okay? So it's only been, I don't know, 60 years or so, that they've known that this grape that they had in South Africa that they called Sten was actually Chenin Blanc. It was believed that when they sent grape cuttings down to Jan van Riebeeck down in Cape Town, that they sent him some Chenin Blanc in that. And they never really knew what it was. So Chenin Blanc is unbelievably widely planted in South Africa. You have some fantastic 35, 40, 45-year-old bush vines that are absolutely out of this world in the middle of nowhere in South Africa as well. So the dominant places where we see Chenin here, really everywhere. Okay? You see it in the far west in the Smartland. You see it down in Constantia and Durbanville. You see it down in Overberg to the southeast of Cape Town. You see it in Stellenbosch. You see it in Franschhoek, you see it in Paarl, you see it in all of these different spots. It is a workhorse grape down here, but it also makes some unbelievable wines. And we've got two really cool examples of South African Chenin that we're going to go through. So South Africa actually came up with 6 recognized styles for Chenin Blanc that are made in South Africa, and here they are. Fresh and fruity, rich and ripe unwooded, rich and ripe wooded, rich and ripe slightly sweet, sweet and sparkling. Well, there you go. Okay? This is really one of the only areas in the world where they routinely use large amounts of oak on their Chenin Blanc. You don't really see it in a lot of other spots. And when we taste through these next 2 wines, to me, I'm just amazed at what happens with these Chenin Blancs. They're really fantastic. They even went so far. They love their Chenin Blanc so much in South Africa. Forget Pinotage. Let's go here to Chenin. They came up with an aroma wheel for South African Chenin Blanc. Okay? It's really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. The wines can be minerally, or they can be rich, they can be sweet, they can have botrytis. They can be anything in South Africa. Classic wines, they can be sparkling. They do it. They love the grape. Okay? So, wine number 6 is going to be Ken Forrester, the FMC from Stellenbosch in South Africa. Okay? FMC means Forrester Minor Chenin. Okay? It's named after his mentor. Okay? This is really one of the great wines in all of South Africa. It's the only wooded Chenin Blanc that's 5-star platter guide, and I think when you taste it, it's there. Okay, there's a lot of richness, a lot of that oak quality, and this comes from Stellenbosch. Like as I said before, Stellenbosch is more known for Cabernet Sauvignon and Chardonnay and some Sauvignon Blanc than it is for Chenin Blanc, but you do get some really fantastic stuff there. Okay? He's getting 3 tons per hectare, but incredibly high-density plantings. He had ripped them up, put them back in 1974, uses 400-liter French oak barrels. New. This sits in those barrels for a long time. Okay? You can really get it. You can really get it in the wine. You smell it, and it's like, oh, wait, maybe that's Chardonnay. And then you taste it on the palate, and it's just minerals and appley and woolly. It's just phenomenal.
And like I was saying, like the Chenin thing that in the best hands, it can really transcend process. Yeah. The same thing that I was talking about before with the Méthode Traditionnelle. Like you taste Chenin with bubbles, and here it's just you taste Chenin, even though it's been oak, you get Chenin with oak, but I still get the Chenin, which is what I love.
But I mean, you tell somebody that without even telling them the grape, you say, oh, this wine's been on the lees and in new oak for 12 months. What grape do you think of that's white? Chardonnay. Okay? And yeah, there's some of that leesy, that woody characteristic to the wine, but it's so different. It's so different. We're starting to come up to the completely non-PC portion of the program. So this is what happens when you drink too much Chenin Blanc. These are two 90-year-old sterile geodesic tortoises. We went in for lunch, we came out, and this was still going on. So be careful how much Chenin you drink in South Africa. This is a lovely, lovely view around False Bay up towards Stellenbosch and the absolutely phenomenal granitic mountains that we have here. There are a tremendous amount of soils here, but this is the oldest non-glacier derived soils in the entire world for vineyard plantings. Okay, this area of the Western Cape, this area in South Africa, roughly 10,000 species of flora and fauna. They discover about 500 new ones every year. That is far more than we have in the entire northern hemisphere. So a 200-mile range is one of the most agricultural, diverse places in the world. But you get this unbelievable Cape Doctor wind that cools everything down. One day it can be 115 degrees. You go out towards the coast and it's 70. These unbelievable cold currents that come up from Antarctica and cool everything down. It's the great Cape Doctor. And if you can really see, you can see all the white caps in False Bay there. And this is why the seals love it. This is why the great white sharks love it. You have this confluence of currents coming together with all this food. It's really an amazing, amazing place. Here's a picture of Stellenbosch. This is the Jonkershoek Valley. This is not Chenin Blanc, but I love the picture. In this particular part of the Jonkershoek Valley in Stellenbosch, they're getting roughly 2 to 4 inches of rain per year. Back in the back where you see that fog that sits on top of the mountains, you can get anywhere between 40 and 60. That's not real far.
One other great thing about Chenin in its terroir in South Africa is the fact that it is wind resistant. So the buds aren't flying off the vine with that Cape Doctor wind, which is really strong. Then also it is bunch rot susceptible. So it needs that wind to keep it dry. So the wind really helps in so many ways. The Chenin is resistant to the wind, but then the wind helps keep it dry because it is susceptible to mold, evidenced by the detritus in the Loire down here.